Let me press record. I have big news, guys. I shared it on my Facebook page before I jumped in here. A lot of you guys know already. Kimberlys is giving me some like smiles. My fiance quit his job. He quit his job because we're in a position where I'm now making enough money in my life coaching and business coaching online business that I can create that freedom for him. And I want to let you guys know, like, wherever you are right now, this is the common line that I always use from the start of my business. Wherever you are right now is not where you have to be. And that's really, really important to remember, because sometimes we get so wrapped up in where we are that we don't think we can create the freedom for ourselves that we truly, truly want. It's possible, guys. It's so possible. So it's an honor for me to be here. I am so excited to coach you guys. I've created some slides. I promise you they're not boring. I'm going to make this as exciting and entertaining as possible. And throughout this training, if you guys have questions and you need them answered, or if you have a comment and you want to engage, because I'm going to be asking you guys some questions myself, post in the chat. So let's start with this. Where are you guys from? Can I get a comment from you guys? Like, where are all of you badass business babes from? Chinatown, Michigan, Chi-town, the stars. Robin's from the stars. South Carolina, Kansas. Oh, awesome. Asia, I thought you said Chinatown. I'm a Manhattan girl, so that's like a Manhattan thing. It's really funny. It's a blonde moment, guys. Okay, so this is really cool. So a little bit about me. I'm a Long Island gal. I was born and raised in Long Island. And then, thank you, babe. And then at one point I moved into Manhattan and I worked corporate life and it sucked and I was miserable. And I'm going to get into all that on this call. So 2 parts today. So for our VIPs who are already with us, bear with me as I kind of break this down and share with you guys a little bit about what we're about, what the story is about. I'm so excited. Okay, so can you guys all see this screen? Is this visible to you? You see this? Okay, cool. So we're going to dive in. This is a badass VIP call. We have these calls for girls who are VIPs. Like I know Stasia is a VIP, Kimberlys is a VIP. We have these calls 3 times per month. And on this particular call, I felt really called to welcome some of the girls who are curious about this group and what it offers, instead of just making it about the girls who are already in the tribe. So we're going to dive into this stuff. So super pumped. So I'm going to explain a little bit on this part of the call who I am, my backstory, how the hell I got to this space, because I firmly believe, and this is not for me to just rant at you and share my life, this is because success leaves clues, guys. And I got to this space because I followed a bunch of people who were doing it the right way. And I want to share that with you. So you may know me from 2 spaces. You may know me as the badass business babe girl. You also may know me as the girl from What is Perfection. Whatisperfection.com was the blog I started when I was stepping into the industry of being a coach. I'm sure many of you guys have done this where you've started either blogging or sharing your posts on your social media platform. I started with a little website. And before we get into anything, I want to just explain to you, there is a very different person sitting in front of you right now than who I used to be. And who I used to be was this never enough girl living the never enough life. I don't know if this sounds common or familiar to you guys, but this was a really big pattern for me. I was never good enough. I was never loved the way I wanted to be loved. I never felt successful enough. I would never felt skinny or beautiful enough. Anything I ever wanted, if it was money or time or love, none of it was ever enough. And I was always struggling my whole entire life to feel not only that significance, but to feel like I was actually creating the life I wanted. In other words, I felt like everybody else was controlling me and I could never get what I wanted and I was always going to be miserable. So that was me. And before I stepped into my blog and before I had stepped into this life, I was a CBS News producer. This was my job. So a little bit of a backstory about me, guys. I was in this space of all my life being taken advantage of, hurt. I had these really hard experiences. You've probably seen them on my blog. I'll go into them later on in this training. But I lived a really rough, tough life, and I never had what I wanted. And when I finally got control of things, I decided I really wanted to be successful. Like that was my mission. And I got to CBS News and I reached this point where I was really doing well in my career. I was achieving great things, but I was missing something. I was broke as a joke still, even though I was making great money. I was miserable. I was drinking all the time and I was at rock bottom. And then I had this moment, and this is like the moment that changed everything for me. I went on a trip at the time with my now fiance. We were just dating, and I had never gone anywhere. Like trips were not a thing for me. Like I just like kind of lived my life in New York and maybe went to Florida a couple of times to my grandma's condo. But we took this trip, and I remember having this moment. This is like what I call the quantum moment that changed it for me. I was hiking, and I was seeing these beautiful creations in the world, and I thought like, what the fuck am I here to do? Like, what is my purpose? Like, why am I sitting in an office every day and I'm miserable? And I swear to God, I didn't realize it in this moment, but this is what changed everything for me. It was when I realized that I wanted to create something bigger than myself to make my mark on the world. And I went back to my job and everything felt terrible. I hated showing up. I hated my boss. I hated being bullied. It was like everything inauthentic started to fall apart. And I knew I had to take a leap of faith. So what did I do? Absolutely nothing. I stayed miserable. I ignored the signs. I continued to drink. My boyfriend would come home and find me passed out on the floor. I was miserable because I knew that I was about to do something really scary that I had never in my life done, which was walk away from a job with no plan. And by the time I made the decision, I was in such a beautiful place that it all made sense. But this was my plan. Literally, this was my plan. I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to start a blog. I have no money and $60,000 in debt. And I'm going to say goodbye to the city and literally abandon my apartment. And I'm going to take this leap. And I was so scared. I had no idea what was next. And Matt and I kind of joke about it today. It was the scariest thing I had ever done, but it was also the most beautiful thing because it transformed my life. Now, I want you guys to look at this and I want you to laugh because 90% of people who don't step into their coaching business or web design, Kimberly's eyes are bugging out, they feel like they don't know what they're doing. And I want to tell you something. I literally didn't know what I was doing. I saved this graphic. This is, oh my God, Anastasia's making faces too. It was horrible. I really had no clue. I had no clue what I was doing. I was falling face forward, right? Like over and over again, failing miserably. And this was my first logo. So I wanted to save this for you guys. And I want you to know like the online market can feel scary because you don't know how to do anything or you don't know how to do what you're supposed to do, but you're not supposed to know how to do everything. You're supposed to fall forward. Fail forward. Is that the expression? Fail forward? Fall forward. Yeah. Fall right on your face over and over again. But I got better at it and I learned over time and eventually I was able to create a beautiful website that was effortless and easy for me. But in the beginning, it was really, really hard. Vulnerability is what led my brand. When I became a life coach, I spent literally a year spinning my wheels and just sharing my stuff. And that's all I did for a full year. And I wrote stories on my website. You guys know I'm a rape victim. I'm also, I've formerly diagnosed mentally ill patient. I had these really, really harsh narratives of my life that I, for a long time, were embarrassed by. And when I stepped into life coaching, I knew a part of the reason was that like I went through that shit so that I could help somebody else. That was really the theory. That was really why I was on this planet. I went through everything so that I could change other people's lives and help them. And so I did things like I wrote articles on my blog about the really tough times in my life. I did if you guys, I don't know if you guys have listened to it, but I have a podcast series that's a very short narrative called The Imperfection in Me. And it's a series of episodes of me reading journal entries from what I went through and reflecting on it so that I could help other women. Vulnerability led my business. And this was the drive for me because I was showing up naked, basically, for everybody else. And they knew I was a safe space. And so that's how I started to attract customers. So please write that down if you're in the coaching business already. Vulnerability creates sales. 100%. The more vulnerable you can be, the more money you're going to make. Now, I'm not saying go do a podcast and record every horrible, embarrassing experience of your life. But if it's going to help your customer, it's really important for you to put yourself out there. So from there, I had this following, I had this strong audience, I had people who were interested in what I had to talk about. And from that space, I decided to create programs. What is going on? What are these red dots over here? Do you guys see this? These red lines? Huh. I don't know what just happened.
Somebody
That's crazy.
On the
okay.
Screen.
I hope my computer's not breaking.
Can you hear me?
So from there, I decided to create these programs that I knew would really help my ideal client. So I did things very specifically tailored to an ideal woman who needed help. And it was all under the umbrella of life coaching. So I did the Perfection program, which was for women who struggled with body image. I did Broken to Beautiful, which was for heartbreaking women. I did Hello Confidence, Goal Digger, and Brand New Me for women who were really eager to transform their lives completely. And so I created these programs and I started generating revenue online. And I had never been in a network marketing company and I had never done anything on online sales before in my life. And I was able to get things working from the ground up. Here's what I'm going to say to you guys. This is really important. The signs are everywhere. Listen to the whispers. This is really powerful because you will find that there are people who are coming to you for help with certain things all the time. And they're asking you the same types of questions. Really paying attention to what people are asking you is a really powerful way to let the universe guide you in your business because it's going to let you know what you're really here to do. And so in the beginning, I had a lot of people reaching out to me and saying, I want to overcome my trauma. I want to overcome my abusive relationship. I want to overcome my brand of being a mentally ill person. That was the sign from the universe for me to help that type of woman. But here's what I'm going to tell you, and this is really important. Sometimes the whisper can change, and it's okay to listen to it. Sometimes you feel called to step into something new that you've never stepped into before. As a coach, you solve a problem. The problems can always shift. The problem that you solve can always change. It's okay. Your purpose of helping others and your mission as a woman to help other women or help other men or whatever it is that you do, your mission and your purpose never changes. So please, if you are here on this coaching call and you feel called to help somebody because you've gotten a whisper and you've had questions about certain things, listen to it. And so my whisper started to change. My whisper used to be about women who wanted to really change their lives. And I was a very good coach and I was life coaching these women. And suddenly I was getting these other questions from people about how do I grow a business? How do I change and step into my brand? How do I actually generate revenue? As a coach, you are always helping people who are 2 steps behind you. As a coach, you're always helping people who are 2 steps behind you. That's really important to remember. So what I did was I went from coaching people to instead coaching people who coach people. And that's what I do now. Now I have become, the mission is still the same. The purpose there is empowering. The goal is to help inspire and motivate change among women and really teach them that they can create the lives they truly want. The mission is still the same. But what I do is a little bit different. And I've now been able to stretch into this brand, which is where you guys are right now, the Badass Business Babe programs that I've designed, the groups that I run. I hate that there's these red lines over here. I feel so bad for Chris's face. I'm sorry. The programs that I run are really about helping women learn how to unleash that higher life with spiritual practice, with soulful practice, but also with business strategy, because that's something that's missing out there. I think that's something that not a lot of people get both of. It's usually they just get the strategy of business coaching. Like I'm going to sit here and do a bunch of tutorials on MailChimp or web design, but you don't get the soulful experience. And what I'm going to tell you is, having struggled with money my whole entire life, you need both. If you're going to rewrite the narrative of being broke and not being able to afford things, you need to be doing the spiritual work. You need to be having the spiritual practice. And so Badass Business Babe is a group. It's a website. And it's also a VIP tribe, and this is what you see down here below. The VIP tribe is really dedicated to specific women who are feeling really called to elevate their businesses on a higher level, and they need the support and the sisterhood and the guidance. And that's what this is all about. I just want to share a mission statement with you guys. I think this is really important. The VIP Badass Goddess Tribe, We are growing a freedom business with flow, ease, and soul in a space of growing, healing, and empowering with love. And this is really important for me because I've seen a lot of women who feel the pressure to rank advance in their Beachbody businesses or level up and reach a certain amount of income. And they're doing it from this hustle place where they're exhausted, they're tired, and they feel like they are always trying to sell. And one of the greatest gifts I've had in the liberty of working with people like Ryan Yokome and Chris Britton is that making money can actually feel easy. It doesn't have to feel hard. Asia is shaking her head nodding, and she knows this. She's been able to switch from making $0 to making $600 a month in a week. I mean, it's incredible. And so being able to tap into that is something that I firmly believe is the foundation of what I teach. And it's really not just about making the money. It's about making the money in a space that feels good, but also growing and healing yourself. That is really an integral part of whether or not your business succeeds or whether it fails. So this tribe is really about understanding a couple of things. Knowing that you are always your first client. You are always your first client from the get-go. Healing yourself so that you can do that first and then heal the world. All of you guys, no matter what business you're in, I'm going to tell you, you need to heal yourself first before you can change the world. And this last part I love is living a life with purpose on purpose. This is really important. Living a life with purpose is one thing, but doing it on purpose, like you're making that choice every day to show up with mission, to show up with passion, to show up with the goal of helping other people, that is what we're really called to do in this world. And if you don't have that passion and drive, like even if you're a branding expert, I don't care how disconnected from soul your business is, you still need that spiritual connection. So financial freedom and fierce living. I actually almost wrote fearless living, but I'm going to tell you, being a business owner, you're always going to be scared. If you're waiting for the day where you're not going to be scared to go and start that website or go and put yourself out there or go and network market, you're never going to create success for yourself because you're letting fear drive you. You need to do it from a place of love. So this is really about this brand, this VIP group. This is really about soul and strategy. That's my firm belief. We have some gorgeous babes in the group. Shout out to anybody who's in these pictures, who's on this call. I love these girls, and I love that they show up because they're all, like I'm looking at all these women, they're all passionate and driven to help other people, and they do it in different capacities. Amanda is really striving to help women overcome anxiety. Sarah is a life coach helping people with narcissistic abuse in their past. These are gorgeous women who just want to show up and make a difference in the world. And very much like me and who I used to be, right, 2 steps behind you, they're ready to break to new financial numbers. And this tribe provides them a bunch of resources that offers them that support, especially when it comes to the essential oils. And I'll get into that in a minute. I want to tell you guys that when I put myself out there and my background with essential oils, this is really important to recognize. I had zero intention of growing a business around essential oils. I got them because I was sick and tired of being on anxiety, depression medication, and I needed to change. And I felt foggy and I felt disconnected from my clients. So what I did was I bought a pack of essential oils, this kit, and I started using them in my practice. I started applying them topically, diffusing them at my desk, diffusing them by my nightstand at bedtime. And things started to change for me, and I was able to really shift out of it. So a long time ago, this is not the first version I've posted. I've done this many times, but a long time ago, probably 2 years ago, I shared a post about it and how I was able to actually heal my life with essential oils. And from there, I got a lot of people asking me, hey, how did you do this? I want to do this too. I'm really curious to know how I can heal my life with essential oils. Now, if you're a life coach out there, and you're looking to enhance your residual income, I'm going to tell you this has been a very beautiful game changer for me and my business financially. Because the way I describe this is that using essential oils is a way that my client can continue to work with me even after our contract is over. It is a way for me to bless them with the work that we've done by letting them into my coaching practice on a long-term basis. So every client that ever works with me one-on-one, I would tell them, let's get you a kit, let's get started, and I'd work with them. It's allowed me to help more people, and it's allowed me to financially grow. It's also allowed me to do wonderful things, like have Matt quit his job and travel the world. And so creating revenue streams for yourself as a coach is really important. I know there are network marketing companies like Beachbody that say, No, you can't create revenue streams. If you're going to do Beachbody, you only need to do Beachbody. You're not allowed to be a life coach. You're not allowed to do anything else but that brand. So really keep that in mind with whatever you're stepping into. If you want freedom to grow something outside of your network marketing business, that may be something that you have to reflect on. I'm working with a girl now who's decided she's going to walk away from Beachbody because she feels called to do something on a deeper level, and she's going to listen to that whisper. So whatever the whisper is, you can create a very successful business no matter what industry you're in, no matter what network marketing company you're in. You can be successful, but you have to be in line with it. You have to be in line with what you're doing. If any part of you, it doesn't feel right, you have to evaluate and reassess. This is my firm belief here, and I just want you guys to really pay attention to this. When I coach women in business, I make it a point. You should never show up to be remembered as a network marketer or somebody who reps a product. You are a healer for the people. That is your job. That is your mission. You are a personal brand. It is never about the product. It is about you. That's so important to pay attention to. So just going back to what we talk about in this tribe, this VIP tribe is an intimate group of women who are focused on growing businesses based on what feels good. We're training our intuition to lead our business. We're doing what feels right, not what feels icky or what feels salesy. And we let our heart naturally attract our clients, and we flow into a space of abundance. This is really the mission, and my striving goal as a coach is to help all my women be able to do this and create financial freedom in their life. So important. So I want to explain to you guys before I go into how to integrate this as a life coach, because I know a lot of our already VIPs have some questions. I want to explain to you that when you join and you get access to the VIP, you get a couple of things. This is not just a group. This is not just a sit-in session. You get access to the VIP coaching portal, which has all of those programs I mentioned above. All of them are going live this week, guys. And you get other programs too in that coaching portal. There's also 3 live coaching calls per week and the group. So this is not just about giving you guys a product and having you sit on it and not know what to do with it for your clients or for your business. This is about continuing to grow you. That's my job. I want to help everybody out there. So the VIP membership, which is included when you buy an oil kit, you get all of these trainings. These are just an example of some of the stuff that's already in there and that's going live this month. So there's constantly trainings that I'm updating. And then we have these calls that are spiritual flow calls, and I'm coaching you guys on money mindset or feelings of not being good enough or not being worth it. Again, this is not about the product. So if you're feeling called to join the VIP tribe, I'm going to end it here. And if you're saying F yes, this is the link to use. It's really easy. Go on that link, and I'm not going to tell you what to buy. I want you to let your intuition lead you. You need to buy an oil kit. You need to buy a full kit if you want to get access to the VIP tribe. You cannot just buy one oil and say, now I'm in. Everything else is free. All you have to do is buy that oil kit. It's pretty fucking badass, right? Like, that's pretty cool. Okay, so now let's talk integrating and incorporating oils into your business. You guys ready for this? I tried to keep that first, like, on point half an hour. Really important. Okay, I want to go back and look at your little notes here before I dive into the second part of this training. Yeah, I had long hair. Be respectful, though. Yeah. Oh, I like this, Anastasia. Okay, so hold on. Anastasia, sorry. So if you are your first client, do you have tips for determining when you need to heal more versus when you're just battling with perfectionism? Ooh, I love this. Before we do anything, we're going to talk about this because this is really important. So I'm going to tell you, Sarah, I love you, Sarah. I'm going to tell you something. I've said this twice today. If you have to ask that question, if you really have to ask your question, you know the answer. The answer is you're battling perfectionism. Something's going on, and you're letting fear run your business. I can just tell from looking at you. You're waiting and waiting and waiting because you don't think you're good enough. I could totally get that vibe from you, girl, and I'm going to tell you, you're fucking enough. You are enough. Right now, I have no idea what you do. I have no idea, but I love you. I really do, because you're bold enough to ask that question, honey. Yeah, I battled this all the time. I mean, like, what is perfection was my brand, right? So, like, I can totally relate to this. I waited and waited and waited to do a lot of things. And I'm going to tell you, like, if you're always going to be healing. You are always going to be healing. So why not heal while you put yourself out there? It's like your heart's always beating, right? Like you still walk around, you still do shit. You know, it's the same, it's a really simple comparison, but it's at the root, a very strong thing. Like you need to be able to show up to help people, but to also keep doing the work. And that's what this group's about. It's about doing the work. So I totally love you. You're in the right place. And yeah. Okay. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about how I accidentally started using oils in my business. I was writing blog posts like this. I was sharing my content, which I know a lot of our VIPs are already doing. I was healing my life while I was working, Anastasia, healing my life while I was working. I was sharing stuff. And actually, it's funny. This is a little side note. The first oil kit I bought that I was actually able to come off of my medication from was not a doTERRA oil kit. It was a Young Living kit. And I met this girl at a Tony Robbins event, and I really loved the oils, and they changed my life. And because I had a brand and I had this market, she was so pushy. This woman, I will never forget her. Thank God she came into my life, because she taught me everything that I don't want to be in my business. And she was so pushy, and she was so aggressive about getting me into the business of the oils. And I hated it. I hated it. I got so mad. The diffusers were like these little volcanoes, right? Matt called them volcanoes because they were like kind of pointy at the top. And he said, he's like, how many volcano kits do you think you're going to sell? Like, this is ridiculous. What are you, a door-to-door volcano salesman? And he got so mad because I was wasting all my time and spending all of my energy trying to sell the way that this girl was trying to tell me to. And that was really powerful for me because I learned I didn't want that. So when I left her, because I didn't want to buy from this woman anymore, it was done. Don't want to buy from somebody. I switched into this space. Yeah, Kimberly. I switched into this space of making a deep connection with a beautiful woman who I very much admired and respected. And she was using oils, Chris Britton, who's now my very close friend, and we've run this tribe together. And so she was running with doTERRA oils, and I said, okay, I just need to be in this girl's energy. I don't know what she's about, but I'm going to buy oils from her so that I can be friends with her. Like, that was really my plan. Like, I'm just going to buy some oils so we could be friends. And we ended up becoming very good friends, but I started to share my oils, and I had a lot of people who would come to me and say randomly, hey, what oils do you use? I need to buy some oils. What do you recommend? I had clients who were telling me that they had anxiety and depression. So instantly when I started working with them, and this is really important to pay attention to, you guys, instantly when I start working with any client, they buy an oil kit. And my going rate for one-on-one coaching is very, it's an investment, right? But I know that if they buy that kit also, they're going to have that in their home forever. They're going to have a tool to continue to heal their life. So after training, when I work with my one-on-one clients, when they get their kit, if I am feeling called to coach them on a certain thing, whether it's a money block and I tell them to use wild orange because wild orange is the oil of abundance. If they're having struggles with love and they're really finding that they have this block of being open and honest, I tell them to use lavender or peppermint because these are oils that activate your heart and open up your chakra. So it's really important for me to teach my clients and teach you guys how to use these oils when you're journaling, when you're meditating. That soulful stuff, that spiritual stuff is what changed my business because it allowed me to surrender. Deepak Chopra talks about this, the art of surrendering in your business and saying, I'm going to show up every day to serve the world and I'm going to make a difference in someone's life and I'm safe. And that attitude is what allowed all of you guys to be here. If I showed up and I was hustle, 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 I wouldn't be able to change your life today. I wouldn't be able to make a difference for you. So that's something I always do with every client I work with. I'm always sharing and giving them an oil kit. And that's where I know that they can actually step into a space of changing their life because they're open to learning new things. I got to tell you, like, I was not very woo-woo. Tina, that's a really good question. Tina wants to know what the difference between Young Living and doTERRA is. Here's what I think. they're both equally pure in their product and quality, but what I'll say is that doTERRA has a human compassion and service level that I don't think I've seen in Young Living. I'm not here to bash, Young Living and say it's not good, but Kimberlys says they lie. I don't know. But what I do know is I went to convention for doTERRA because I wanted to learn more about the company that I was bringing into my coaching practice. And I went there, and convention was them teaching us how they're trying to save impoverished societies in other countries, and they're trying to give families value, and they're taking these farmers who live in Somalia where frankincense, that's the only place frankincense grows, and they're working directly with the farmers to give them value in their life, to give them the things that they need. Robin knows, she was there, she was crying her eyes out the whole entire time because they're really trying to make a difference in the world. Young Living cultivates and grows their own product. They don't pluck the product in its natural grown place. So they actually build a farm and they start mass producing the product, whereas doTERRA goes to where it's naturally grown. And I think I got this, what is it, Nairobi oil, Robin, that we got? We got a new oil that they announced, and the plants literally have not been touched for 145 years or something. Neroli. Yeah, like that's amazing. I'm holding something in my hand that's been on this earth forever. That's incredible. There's a pure, potent quality to that. So that's my thought. That's my opinion on it. I want to work with companies who are in line with service, and I want to work with people who are ready to change the world. And that's really how I've stepped into this. So, so when I work with clients, when people want to work with me, this is a great example. Look at what I'm doing now with my Badass Business Academy. It's free services. It's free value. I'm giving you guys a plethora of training, a plethora of resources, and all you have to do is buy an oil kit. That's pretty easy. That's pretty amazing. You guys, when you're life coaching, can do the same exact thing. And this is what's really allowed me to move up rank advance really quick, because people aren't just buying a product. They're buying an opportunity to work with me and gain my knowledge. So when we have coaching calls, I'm not talking about oils. I'm talking about what you guys really want and need in your life. It's like a double value, Asia says. Yeah. So I would recommend that you guys do this in some capacity. If you're really serious about growing an oil business, you can go to the link I put up before and you can get your kit and you can get started. If you're already a VIP, this is what I'm going to say to you. You guys cannot generate enough revenue to sustain your quality of life just with one-on-one coaching. You're here to make a really big difference in the world. One-on-one coaching is great. It's amazing, and it's a very big income for me. However, I feel more called to create change among the masses, don't you? Like, that's why we're here, is to really help a lot of people. So one of the things I found about the oils is that it not only changes my client's life, but it changes their husband's life, their sister's life, their boyfriend's life. Like my fiance took this capsule that I made him of oils to help his allergies, and it didn't help his allergies, but it cured his acid reflux. So now he's going around his work and he's giving all these old men that he works with these flower pills, and he's saying, here, try this, it works. And everyone's acid reflux is cured, and it's incredible. So it's really funny. Yeah, I did an Insta story because he was so uncomfortable. He was burping flowers because the oil has had lavender and eucalyptus, and he's like, I'm burping flowers. And now I'm getting messages from old men saying, hey, can I have some burping flower pills, please? Because everyone wants in. But it spreads like wildfire, and I know I'm making a difference. And now his coworkers' wives are reaching out to me asking for help because they're trying to holistically heal certain parts of their lives. And it's beautiful. It's a natural flowing connection where everything's easy. So I'm going to tell you guys, like, I want to open this up to questions to see if you guys do have any questions about this, but it's really important that whatever business you're creating, you're doing it from a space that feels good. You're doing it from a space that feels good. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it, really, is the motto. I mean, that's really, really an important thing to remember. So I'm going to put this, I want to do screen share. I want to see who's here on this call and who has questions about incorporating oils into their coaching business. Heather, do you have a question? No, you don't have a question?
No, I just posted a comment.
I can't hear you, honey.
So my Wi-Fi might not be strong.
Maybe I can't talk to you because it's not letting me.
No. It's okay.
Okay.
I wrote a comment.
Yeah. Okay. So you can hear her? Why can you guys hear her? I can't hear anybody. No, hold on. Hold on. There we go. Oh, it was my headphones. Heather, can you hear me?
No, I was just asking. I know there's some women here that aren't life coaches, maybe not yet. And any advice on them growing their oils business or anyone? I mean, I feel like they all have mission as healers and whatever evolves will evolve. But if you have any advice on those that might be scared to share their love for oils.
Yeah.
And I think that'll be, collective.
Sure. I love the collective question, which is why I called on you. Hi, Ethan.
Say hi, Lauren.
Hi, Lauren.
Oh my God. Hi, I love you. He's so cute. Okay. So this is great. This is a really good question. I felt really scared to share stuff like this because I had seen so many people like private message me, cold copy pastes of like, hey, join my network marketing business and come. I had like one woman, she's like, I know being a mom is hard. I know it's tough, but if you want and you can overcome being a mom and also trying to get healthy, we'll do it together. I'm not a fucking mom. Like, I don't have kids. I don't have any children. So where did she get this from? So this to me, I knew I did not want to do. So I'm going to tell you, I'm a pig and two dogs. What I'll tell you is like, if you're worried about stepping into a space of sharing because you don't want to come across as salesy or icky or, kind of being judged, you don't have to. That's a choice. I see a lot of women who come into network marketing businesses and they say, I'm doing everything right and I'm not getting results. I'm spinning my wheels. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I'm doing everything my upline told me to do. Amberly and I used to have this conversation all the time. I'm doing everything my upline told me to do and I'm not getting the results I want. Okay. Because that probably feels inauthentic. Whatever you're doing probably doesn't feel good, and that's why it's not working. So I'm going to tell you, if you're not a life coach out there and you're just really serious about spreading the word of helping other people change their lives, growing holistically, healing on some level, even if it's just a mom who wants to learn how to holistically treat her kids and not use chemicals when they get sick, your mission is service. Your mission is service. And if you can show up in that space of just really trying to help other people, it doesn't feel as icky. I said this on a live video yesterday. Like, do you think Mother Teresa was like, nah, bitch, like, you don't want to help me? I'm going to get upset. Mother Teresa doesn't care about that stuff because if someone doesn't want to work with her, she goes, okay, there's somebody else who needs my help. Yeah. So you got to channel that. Oh, Robin, I love that. You're amazing. I've been following Lauren's advice and grew my business 3 times more in a month than I've ever did with Beachbody because now I'm in an alignment and flow and authentic. That's the thing, guys. Yeah, that's the purpose and that's the message. And that's the great thing about this tribe too, is we get to support each other and celebrate each other. You're coming in at such a organic grassroots level because there are only 80 people in that tribe. It's a really intimate group of women. So that's what I think makes it so awesome for us. Yeah. So who else has questions? Boop, boop, boop. Anybody? Asia, do you have anything you want to ask? She's thinking. No, she's pretty good. Okay. Robin, Amber Lee, my girls, I just want to honor the VIPs who are already members just so that, love you, Sarah. You're awesome. I adore you. Yeah, so, okay, so this is really what it's about. So who feels really good about this? Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, so here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to all put in the comments, really think about this. We're going to do a little digging right here on our money blocks because if I can give you guys anything, even if you don't join the tribe, which I know that's not going to happen because you guys are all really excited. Heather, yes, anybody who was invited by somebody else, join with that link. I know I shared this link before, the badassbusinessbabe.com/oils. I'm going to put this in the tribe right here in the chat. If you guys feel called to join us, you can just click that link and buy a kit. But what I'll say is that if somebody did invite you, go back and use their link because that's how you're going to get access to all of this stuff too. Okay, so come in with the person who nurtured you. Great question. So I want you guys to all get into the comment section, and I want you to write down how much money do you want to make. Yeah, Sonia's eyes are bugging. How much money do you want to make, honey? Per what? Annually, per month? Yeah, like you're like, give me the specifics. You mean before taxes, after taxes, before bills, after bills, before I die? Like, what do I need? No, per year. I'm going to challenge you guys to do the per year because that's a bigger number. What do you want? 100K. Gorgeous. Come on, guys. Come on. Yeah, total per month, per year. First goal, 250K. $13,000 this month, 100K a year. Gorgeous. Yeah, I know, Courtney, you're on the run. It's amazing. No, just for life, Megan. Like, just how much do you want to make just now? Like, the oils are great. They're residual income. They're a side. Eventually, you'll make multiple six figures doing it. But let's just start with the vision that you have for your financial freedom. If you have a regular job, who has a regular job? Yeah. Okay. Do not include that when you type in this number. 100K, 250K, 120. Yeah. Gorgeous. Where, Asia, your angel number? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
I can't figure out how to type.
There's a little chat section. You should be able to see. Stasia has a question. Where are you, honey? You want me to unmute you?
Did I unmute me? I think I unmuted me.
Hi, girl.
Hi. Okay, so this is where I'm stemming at, and I'm being really vulnerable and honest with you when I do this. I ordered my kit, and I did not tell. I live with my mother. I did not tell her. I have actually hid my kit since I got it from her. So I'm trying to figure out, because in her mind, if you don't have that 9 to 5, then you don't have you don't have a job. You don't have what's the way to help heal that or work on that.
Yeah. So this is really interesting. I think I've struggled. Thank you for sharing your heart, Stasia, with us. I think this is a really beautiful example of the shame that we kind of put on ourselves for trying to want to grow something and make a difference, especially if we're moms, and especially if we have unhealthy relationships with our parents, where we feel like we want to be significant, we want to be recognized, we want to be loved. I will say, in my experience, well, let me ask you something. At the root, Stasia, why did you feel like you couldn't open up to her about this? Is it because she doesn't think people, like, it's just an oil kit? She could have just thought you bought a regular product.
It's the money. Because she doesn't see an instant return on something, she doesn't get the value in it.
Yeah. So this is really interesting. I was having a conversation with one of the VIPs where she was really bullying herself that she had invested all this money in all these different things and she wasn't getting the results that she wanted. And she was kind of blaming herself, and she said, well, I should be getting a return on this. Why am I not seeing it? And sometimes the limiting beliefs that our parents place on us, actually, I will argue 90% of what you guys know about making money, you learned from mom and dad between the ages of 2 and 12. And so if you saw like money disappearing, or money being hard to make, or dad never being home because he was always working and he was never around, money causes pain. There's a really strong narrative there. And if, I don't know what your mom's background is or what her story is, but she's probably a victim of whatever she went through. And she's only doing the best that she knows how. This is something that was really hard for me. I grew up with a really unhealthy dynamic with me and my mom. And I'll tell you, like, when you learn it, when you come from a place of love, of you trying to teach somebody, that's one thing. But if you're just showing up hoping that they'll someday be proud of you or they'll someday get it. Like I called my mother and I was like, Mom, guess what? Matt's quitting his job. And I don't know why I did this, because I know like my mom is not my supporter. Like she's not going to be like, congratulations, let me go get a bottle of wine, we can celebrate. Her response was, oh, okay. Just like that. She didn't get it. She doesn't understand. She don't want to celebrate. You have to disconnect from that, honey, because your purpose in life and what you're here to do is not to just get mom's approval. It's to change the world. And that's really important to recognize. When you set aside what somebody else judges you for or doesn't think you're good enough for, it disconnects you from your bliss and your purpose in life. Yeah. So take some deep breaths, honey. You're loved and supported, and you're going to get it in other places. You don't need that from her. You can love her for who she is. You can accept her for what she does and what she does based on what she knows how. But what you really need, you can look for elsewhere in your community, in your tribe, with people that love you for real. Okay? So hearts. So here's the thing about making money is that when I asked you guys to put the comments of what you want to make in this chat, it was hard for you. Some of you found it very easy because you've been working with me for a little while, but it's sometimes hard to step into the vision of what you want. I think Shannon and I had a call today, right? And she's like, I can't even dream. She's like, I don't even know what that feels like. I can't imagine what that feels like. I'm going to tell you that every time you stretch, guys, financially, you have to be able to see the vision. So if you're having a really hard time with $100,000, if that feels hard to you, it's the same thing with weight loss, right? Like if someone has to lose 200 pounds, what do you tell them? Focus on the first 5 pounds. Keep it small. Keep moving in the direction of your goal. Because here's the thing. If you're not moving in one direction, you're moving in the other direction. You always have momentum. So it's just a matter of keeping the momentum going in that direction and keeping persistent and keeping focused and really recognizing that it's okay to start small. So what I call this is living in the stretch. You guys always want to live in the stretch. So if $100,000 feels hard to you, what's a number? What is the biggest, ask yourself this question, what is the biggest number that I can make that still feels kind of possible but also feels hard? What's that number monthly? Can you guys put that in the comments? What is that number monthly that's stretching into it? 4G, I love it. Awesome. Megan, 5K. Yes. Oh, this is beautiful. Gorgeous. So all of this for you guys. Yeah. Still the 250K. Gorgeous. Amberly, I got to tell you, you've been on a roll. I adore you and I love everything about what you're doing. Something has clicked for you and I'm drooling over it. I love it. So I see that from you and I'm like, yeah, girl, you're ready. Let's do it. You're so ready. So sometimes you have to be honest with yourself. And if you sit with a number, I would suggest if you guys are using oils at this point, you should sit in meditation with either the wild orange or the peppermint. Those are great for money manifesting and clarity. Also patchouli, really great oil for that. And you sit with the vision of the number and decide what feels right. I will tell you when I have stretched, there are times where I have failed because I set goals that I knew the moment I set them, it wasn't going to happen because it felt hard. It didn't feel easy. It felt pushy. So really sit. Yeah, because it was too much, Asia. I would show up. This happened just a couple of months ago. So I showed up and maybe this was like 4 months ago, but I showed up and decided I was going to make 35K in a month. That was what I decided. I was stretching into, I'm being vulnerable with you guys, like real deal. I was going to stretch into 35K. And at the time I had only hit, I think 20K only. That was my number. I had hit 20K. And so suddenly I was like, oh, let me do 35. But the truth is when I multiplied the number 35 times 12 and I saw what that residual income was going to be per month, I went, I have no idea what that lifestyle would look like. I'd have all this money sitting in the bank because Matt still works. At the time he was working, Matt still works. I'd have all this money sitting in the bank. I couldn't travel. I already have a house. So what would I do? Just pay it off? That's boring. I had no reason why, and it didn't feel easy. It felt really hard and it felt really disconnected. So it's really important that if you're stretching into something, that you get really clear about what that lifestyle looks like. And when you imagine that lifestyle, you're going to run to it. So please, for the love of God, do not sit here and tell me that you want to make $100,000 so that you can just get out of debt and keep living the same exact life that you're living, because that's never going to motivate you to make money. Fear is never going to motivate you to make money. That's like saying, I want to find my true love because I'm scared of dying alone. in that moment of scarcity, are you really going to find someone who treats you right, who loves you the way you want to be loved? No, you're going to find the first homeless man on the street and you're going to try to marry him, and it's not going to work out because you're desperate. So money is the same thing. Money is that energy. You have to be able to put it out there from a space of love. If you guys aren't clear about what lifestyle that would look like, you got to do a little journal reflection. This is something I have a lot of my girls do. Sit down and figure out, okay, what does 100K life look like? Divide that by 12. If you're making 100K, that's roughly, I don't know, $8,000 or $9,000 per month. Sit down and map that out. What does $8,000 or $9,000 per month look like? What would I do with that extra money? What trips would I take? Who would I hire to make my life easy? Would I hire a maid? Would I hire a cleaning service? What would you do? And that's going to be the motivator to drive you. Okay? So, how's everybody feel? Real good? Beautiful. I want you guys to do some money-making lists tonight, and let's share them in the tribe. Like, really ask yourself, Asia, Heather, like, what is that vision of the life, the freedom business you want to create? Robin, girl, this is a hard one for you. See, when you make money, it's really important. Money needs to have a service reason, and it has to have a selfish reason. Service and selfishness, you need both. Service and selfishness. And it's really easy for some people to get aligned with the service and say, I just want to help people. I just want to help people. You cannot help people when you're broke as a joke. There is enough poverty in the world. You need to be a mission of inspiration for other people. It is your duty and your obligation to inspire people for what's possible. So you need the selfish reason. Because no one's going to want to work with you when you're struggling yourself. Tony Robbins talks about this because he gets criticized a lot. Why do you charge so much for your events if you're really supposed to help people? And his response is, there's a real common misconception out there that in order for me to change the world, I need to be in the gutter with you. Sorry, no. Sorry, no. That's really true. It's really true. So, okay, I love you guys. I'm going to end it here. I'm sending you all so much light. If you guys are ready to join our tribe, Courtney's on here. I see Courtney. I know you're ready, girl. You guys message me if you have questions. You can go to the link, badassbusinessbabe.com/oils, and then you'll instantly get access to everything. If you have questions, just reach out. I love you. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so grateful to be coaching you guys. No call on Sunday, everybody. No call on Sunday because this is replacing that call this week. So I'm going to be at Kyle Cease. I don't know if you guys know who Kyle Cease is. He is a comedian turned meditation spiritual guru. And he is doing an event out of Massachusetts. So I'm really excited to go do that. I'm going to go to this yoga center. Really pumped. Okay, but I love you guys. You're amazing. Put the link in the group. Put the link in the group. For Kyle Cease? Yeah. Okay, for Kyle Cease. Yes. Okay, I love you guys.